The city was a war zone. Towers of glass and steel now leaned like tired giants, their windows shattered and dark. Smoke, thick and black, choked the air, painting the sky a gloomy, terrifying gray. Sirens wailed a constant, mournful song, a soundtrack to the fear gripping every person below. People ran through the streets, their faces filled with panic. They were not running from a fire or an earthquake. They were running from monsters, from titans. In the heart of this destruction, Godzilla, the king of the monsters, stood his ground, but he was in serious trouble, facing a threat unlike any he had faced before. It was a battle for survival, and the city was the unforgiving arena. Godzilla roared, a sound of pure power and defiance, but there was a hint of strain in it. He was facing a new enemy, a mechanical monstrosity we called Destro Ghidorah. This was no living creature. It was a cold, calculated machine of destruction, with 3 metallic heads, each armed with crimson energy cannons. Laser beams shot out, striking Godzilla's tough hide and making him stumble. He fired his atomic breath, a brilliant blue beam of immense energy, but the machine's armor was too strong. It absorbed the blast, glowing red-hot for a moment before firing back with even more force. Godzilla was getting tired, his movements slower, his roars weaker. The people watched from a distance, hidden in shelters or behind crumbling walls. Their feelings were a mix of awe and absolute terror. They had always seen Godzilla as an unstoppable force of nature, a guardian who, despite his destructive power, kept a certain balance. But now, seeing him struggle, seeing him get hurt by this unfeeling machine, a new feeling emerged. Despair. If Godzilla could fall, what hope did they have? Helicopters buzzed in the sky, news reporters broadcasting the grim scene to the world. Every screen showed the same image, their protector, their king, on the verge of defeat against an overwhelming, artificial foe. Destro Ghidorah pressed its attack, relentless and brutal. One of its metallic heads bit down on Godzilla's shoulder, sparking and grinding against his scales. Another head blasted him at point-blank range, sending him crashing into a skyscraper. The building collapsed around him, a mountain of concrete and steel burying the mighty titan. For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the crackling of fires and the hum of the victorious machine. The city held its breath. Was this the end? Was the king of the monsters truly defeated? From the rubble, a low growl rumbled, but it was weak, a sound of pain and exhaustion. Hope was fading fast. Just as all hope seemed lost, a new sound cut through the chaos. It was not the roar of a monster or the boom of an explosion. It was a rhythmic, earth-shaking thump, thump, thump. It grew louder, closer, a primal drumbeat that vibrated deep in everyone's chest. The ground trembled with each impact. People looked at each other, their fear now mixed with confusion. What was this new sound? From the edge of the city, parting the thick smoke like a curtain, a colossal figure emerged. It was not a machine. It was a living, breathing titan, a true force of nature, and its presence was absolutely massive. It was Kong. He stood tall, a mountain of muscle and fur, his powerful form silhouetted against the fiery glow of the burning city. His chest was broad and strong, a testament to his incredible power. His arms, thick as ancient trees, hung at his sides, ending in fists the size of small cars. He carried a massive battle axe, a weapon forged from the dorsal plate of another titan, glowing with a faint blue energy. He was not just a giant ape. He was a king in his own right, the ruler of a forgotten world, and his eyes burned with fierce intelligence and determination. He had arrived. Kong let out a deafening roar that shook the very foundations of the remaining buildings. It was a challenge, a declaration. He was not here to add to the destruction. He saw the mechanical beast standing over the fallen Godzilla, and he understood. He saw a bully, a machine hurting a living creature. Kong beat his chest with his massive fists, a thunderous display of dominance and raw power. The sound was a promise of a fight to come. He was here to even the odds, to face down this new threat. The city had a new player in this deadly game, a powerful, unexpected ally. The people of the city stared in disbelief. They knew of Kong, the legends of Skull Island, but to see him here, in their world, was something else entirely. Fear was still there, of course. He was another giant creature in their already shattered home. But there was something different in his eyes. It was not the cold, empty void of the machine, nor the primal rage of a cornered animal. It was focus. It was purpose. He took a step forward, then another, his massive feet cracking the pavement. The king of the hollow earth had come to the surface and he was ready for war. Kong did not hesitate. With a mighty leap that defied his incredible size, he launched himself across the cityscape. He was surprisingly agile, using the skeletons of ruined buildings as stepping stones. He landed with a ground-shattering impact right between the mechanical monster and the trapped Godzilla. Destro Ghidorah turned its 3 heads toward the new challenger, its electronic sensors whirring as it assessed the threat. Kong stood his ground, raising his glowing axe and letting out another ferocious roar. He was a guardian, a protector, and he was making it clear that the fight was now with him. The machine had a new problem, a very big one. While Kong distracted the mechanical titan, Godzilla began to stir. He pushed against the tons of debris, his strength slowly returning. He saw Kong, this other alpha titan, fighting in his defense. He heard Kong's defiant roar. A strange feeling passed through the ancient creature. It was not rivalry, not this time. It was something else. Respect. He pushed harder, fueled by a new surge of energy. With a powerful burst of strength, he broke free from the rubble, shaking dust and concrete from his massive frame. He let out a roar of his own, not of pain, but of gratitude and renewed fury. The kings were now standing together. Kong swung his axe with incredible force, slamming it into one of Destro Ghidorah's metallic necks. Sparks flew like fireworks as the superheated blade bit deep into the machine's armor. The mechanical head flailed wildly, its red eye flickering. But the machine was powerful. It retaliated, firing a concentrated laser beam that sent Kong stumbling back. Just as the machine was about to fire again, a blast of blue atomic breath shot from the side, striking Destro Ghidorah squarely in the chest. Godzilla was back on his feet, and he had his allies back. The 2 titans were now fighting as one. The people watched, their fear turning into astonishment. They were witnessing the impossible. 2 ancient rivals, 2 kings, fighting together. Kong, with his speed and his powerful axe, was the perfect close-range fighter. Godzilla, with his raw power and devastating atomic breath, was the ultimate long-range artillery. Kong would charge in, drawing fire and landing heavy blows. And when he was in trouble, Godzilla would provide cover with a perfectly aimed blast. They moved like a team that had trained for singing. Their instincts were flawless. They were no longer just 2 monsters. They were a team. The battle raged on, a symphony of destruction and teamwork. Destro Ghidorah was strong, but it was just a machine. It had programming. It did not have heart. Kong and Godzilla had something more. They had the will to survive, the spirit of a fighter. Kong used his agility to climb the machine's massive frame, dodging laser blasts and snapping metal jaws. He reached the central chest plate and began hammering it with his fists. At the same time, Godzilla focused all his energy, his dorsal fins glowing brighter and brighter, charging up his most powerful atomic blast yet. He was aiming for the same spot Kong was weakening. With a final heroic effort, Kong slammed his axe deep into the machine's chest, creating a huge crack in its armor. He then leaped off just as Godzilla unleashed his full power. A massive, brilliant blue beam of pure energy slammed into the weakened spot. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. The machine shuddered violently, sparks erupting from every joint. Its red lights flickered and died. A chain reaction of explosions started deep within its core. With one final, deafening boom, Destro Ghidorah exploded, its metallic parts raining down harmlessly across the ruined city. Silence finally fell. The threat was gone. Kong and Godzilla stood tall amidst the smoke and rubble, breathing heavily. They had won. They looked at each other, not as enemies, but as equals. There was no challenge, no roar for dominance. There was a quiet, shared understanding. Godzilla gave a slow, deliberate nod. Kong responded by tapping his own chest and then nodding back. It was a sign of respect, an acknowledgement of their shared victory. They had saved the city. They had saved each other. Then, without another sound, Godzilla turned and lumbered back toward the sea. His job done. Kong watched him go before turning to find his own path away from the world of man. The people slowly came out of their shelters. They saw the sunrise painting the sky with colors of orange and pink. A new day dawning. The fear was gone, replaced by a profound sense of relief and wonder. They had seen 2 rivals put aside their differences. They had seen them work together to defeat a common enemy. It was a powerful sight, a lesson burned into the memory of everyone who witnessed it. They learned something important that day. Friendship can be found in the most unlikely places. Teamwork makes us stronger than we could ever be alone. Even the greatest kings know this. When we stand together, we can overcome any challenge, no matter how big.